Good. Okay. Just go. Yeah. Okay. Hi guys. So the problem that we were aiming to solve with our Pebble app, so that's the smartwatch that you saw demoed in the second presentation, is a lot of people we find like to sleep when they go home on the train or the night bus. And so you could set a timer with your phone. That might work. Or you could hope that you wake up. And that's not really reliable because you could get delays, traffic jams, you could arrive early and miss your stop, you could wake up early, which would be tragic if you really want to sleep. And so we really wanted to solve this. The other thing is we found you can't always feel your phone vibrate if it's in your pocket or if it's in your jacket pocket. And so we wanted to utilize the Pebble because it's got a really strong vibration on the wrist and you really feel it. And so our idea was don't rely on your phone or the time, rely on GPS instead. And so what we did was we have a Pebble app which syncs to an Android app on your phone, and that queries your GPS location, and you give it a home location that you want to go to, and then it'll wake you up within a certain radius of getting to that location. And that way you don't have to worry about missing your stop if your train is early or waking up way too early if you get delayed. And we're pretty confident that the Pebble would wake you up because it's got that strong vibration and it's on a sensitive spot in your wrist. And so this is what the app looks like, and we'll give you a quick demo on the visualizer.
Zoom it in a bit. A bit.
Tilt it up, Oscar. Okay. So, not that big.
So that's our application, and because the smartwatch is very minimalistic, has only 4 buttons, you can only go up and down and select and go back. So we thought to have just 3 bookmarks for the most important places to you where you would want to go and say sleep on public transport, say home, and have, if you're going home or to work or to university, and have the addresses or postcodes associated with that, or have recent places which you have visited. If you're in a foreign place, like a foreign city, and you want, say, to go to Piccadilly Circus, but you're not really from London. So if I choose one of the bookmarks, I select it, and then you can see. And then you can see it's very simple. It shows the distance that you have to your destination, which would come from the GPS from your phone, and it also runs the timer as you start it, indicating how much time you spent in a journey, so you may not take the same route again. And as soon as you reach your destination, your phone through GPS will send a vibration to the watch, and you will have to press a select button to come back to turn off the vibrations.
Okay, so that's basically our app. There's a companion app on Android, but we won't show you that because it's kind of in the infant stage. It's not very polished. And so we'd been thinking when we talked to some people about some potential further uses because it's a fairly simple app. And one of the ideas that came up is that you could use it to explore a city. For example, you could plan some tube stops that you want to get off at, and instead of having to worry about looking at the map and worrying about, oh, which stop am I getting off at, it just buzzes and lets you know, get off at the next stop. Or potentially, you set a radius on the companion app, you would draw it on the on a Google map. You could set a geofence location, and it would buzz you when you get to the edge of that, so you would know, ooh, I need to turn back and stay in here so I don't get lost. And the other thing was we wanted to bring it to the tube, because you don't really get GPS down there, so it's a little hard to do, but we found some data that would let us calculate the time between stations and figure out a reasonable time to wake you up. So, thank you.
I can say that various things can wake you up. I use my Fitbit as my alarm clock. But I also travel by train where I don't often well, I often don't get a GPS signal.
Right.
So, do you have anything to say around how your app would work in the absence of satellite?
So currently in this one, we hadn't worked on anything like that. We did have information. We found a spreadsheet through a Freedom of Information with all the TFL's interstation journey times, but we didn't have anything for wider train travel. And the reason why we were focusing on GPS is that we wanted to make the app apply to more than just the tube, because anyone could use it if they've got GPS, whereas the tube only applies to London.
Sure. National Rail do have a very good API.
You could look into that.
How challenging was the Pebble development environment?
It was a bit, the API is written in C, so for somebody who is not very familiar with a bit low level like pointers and things like that, and structs, it might be a bit difficult. But overall, there's a really good support on the Pebble website, so anyone can start their own app.
Cool, thanks guys.